Is Hunter Biden running for president?
This the way that he talks about my dad, him. And again, sorry for my language.
It's okay.
But he is obsessed. And I tell you the reason why he's obsessed. Because unlike anyone else, my dad kicked his ass like a rented mule and beat him by 7.5 million votes.
Kamala and Gavin better watch out. We got a real one. The last time a Biden was this angry, he wrapped a chain around Corn Pop's neck. Democrats haven't seen this much fight since Nancy ripped up Trump's State of the Union. Hunter's mad Trump dozed USAID. And now he says he's on the warpath for the children.
What they did is they went in and they flipped the switch. And because they flipped that switch, 14 million people are going to die. 4 million of them are going to be children.
Yeah.
That's a genocide.
Democrats needed a brawler like that for the shutdown. Instead, Schumer surrendered like a Palestinian. The risk is Hunter is like Icarus. He flies too close to the sun. Delaware might bench him like Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't know why Charlie Kirk was shot, but I do know this. It's only served one group of people, Charlie Kirk's death. MAGA. They have taken this, they have wrapped themselves in it, they have righteous indignation.
Yikes. We're reminded why Hunter doesn't belong in polite society. He's never been house trained. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. He's like Crockett on crack.
We need to turn the temperature up, and we need people to see for it for what it is. And what I mean by that is this, is that I do not believe that we are going to get to the bottom until we get to the bottom. And when I say that we need to turn the temperature up, I am absolutely 100% not saying that it needs to be violence.
Did you think the Bidens were just going to ride off into the sunset and let their father's legacy be Kamala and the coup? Wilmington sees an opening. Chuck helped push Joe out, and now Joe's sending his son out to dance on his grave. Barack still thinks he's pulling the strings, but after the Clooney column, the Bidens want the cross-legged Messiah crucified. The big guy in Barry, not on speaking terms. The Cafe Milano snub was the snub heard round the Beltway.
I happened to be there, and you know who else was there was Barack Obama, who was also having dinner at Cafe Milano, but they didn't cross paths.
They didn't interact at all. They were in the same
no.
restaurant. What's their relationship like? That's weird that they didn't.
Really bad. Really bad.
Really?
Yeah. Biden and the people around him very much blame Barack Obama for the effort to push Biden out of the campaign.
After the coup, Joe was calling everyone in D.C., but when Barack called, he got sent to voicemail.
I was astounded to hear that one person he did not call was Barack Obama, the person that really made it possible for him to be president by making him vice president. He didn't call him then. Obama did call, I learned, to talk to Biden. He didn't take the call. And the two of them did not speak for weeks.
The whole party's like a bunch of teenage girls that got caught sleeping with each other's boyfriends. Mayor Pete's prickly after Kamala called him too gay.
She said that you both agreed that the country wasn't ready for a gay vice president. So the question for you is the country ready for a gay president?
Look, I wouldn't have run for president in 2020 if I didn't think so.
But go to what she said. Is that a fair analysis of your position?
No.
Okay. Why did she say that?
I don't know.
You don't know why she said that?
No.
Mayor Pete's like, I'm not a DEI hire. That's Harris. By the way, speaking of catfights, where's Tampon?
I'd spent some time in China. I taught in China. You might have heard that last fall. God forbid your vice president would know China and could speak a little Chinese.
Timmy honeymooned in China, a surveillance state. Everything Timmy did or didn't do that night, the Chi-Coms have it on tape. And where's Gavin? Where else? The rainforest. What's in the backpack, Gav? The only other grown man I've seen with a backpack was Hunter. What are they stashing in those backpacks? And why is that jungle guide touching Newsom's hand? Did he put him under a spell? Was this a healing ceremony? Did Gavin take ayahuasca? Good thing Gavin's out of the country because the Democrats' crossfire is crazy. The squad wants Schumer gonzo, and they're saying it's urgent. Their little Epstein play backfired, and they walked right into a trap. Now Trump's directing Bondi to investigate Epstein's relationship with Democrats, and the Southern District of New York is on the case. That means Clinton, Larry Summers, Michael Wolff, all of them, and all of the others, could be the subject of a new underage sex trafficking investigation. Epstein was even caught coaching a Democrat congresswoman during a congressional hearing with Michael Cohen. And Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers are accusing prison guards of leaking emails to Jamie Raskin. Again, they said the walls were closing in on Trump, and he just turned the tables. Democrats are now under investigation for everything they've accused Trump of: mortgage fraud, Epstein, Russia. Schumer blew the shutdown, uncorked Epstein as a distraction, and it boomeranged. And now top Democrats are lawyering up and telling their wives, I was on the plane, but I never went to the island. After Kamala blew $2 billion in donor money, the donors are looking at Chuck Schumer and saying, are you dumb? It's gotten so bad, New York money has no other choice but to back AOC. One donor says this, we've got to get rid of him. She's the future. He's the past. When it comes to having a finger on the pulse of New York, she's the new Chuck. Other senators see the writing on the wall, and they're lining up to kiss the ring of the new king. That's right, burn dog.
It's not a coincidence that the only person that can draw 50,000 people to a rally is Bernie Sanders, and it's something that we should pay attention to. As a party, I think our path forward runs through being a bigger tent party.
But Bernie's not king yet. There's a queen still waiting in the wings.
Keep fighting for my girls, okay?
Yeah, I promise.
Okay.
We
Thank
will
you.
Together, right?
Yes.
We're doing
Never
it
give
together.
up.
No, never.
Never
no,
give up.
no, we're too strong.
Kamala's on a collision course with Gavin. Her and Biden's Justice Department turned prosecutors loose on Gavin's right-hand woman. Does she have something on the governor? Will she flip? Who knows? But the base wants fresh blood, and Kamala's old news.
We have not done a good job. We've had Democratic control for too long. It's, I think, disproportionately, when you are in power for a long time, you become lazy in how we do it. We need to do better. We would never run a company the way we run our state.
You know who's running the country like a company? Trump. And he's got one priority, the American shareholder. 47 just announced 4 new trade deals with Argentina, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Ecuador. Make that 5. This just in, Switzerland. Coffee and fruit prices are about to come down, so get up early and enjoy your miracle mornings. Target says they're dropping prices before the holidays to help cut the cost of your Thanksgiving dinner. And TSA workers are getting bonuses for sticking it out through the Schumer shutdown.
So today we are announcing that we are going to be handing out bonus checks of $10,000 to TSOs, to agents who work for TSA who served with exemplary service.
It's amazing. Federal workers are getting buyouts and bonuses instead of kickbacks and NDAs. Remember, we're doing it for the children.
That's for you.
Well, you must know what your name is.
My name is Donald.
The president's hard at work, but he's taking some time to stop and smell the roses. For once, a politician's thinking about your future instead of their own future. The best part about this country is we control our own destiny. The administration has its work cut out for it before the midterms, and so do we. But if it all goes well, we'll have something to look forward to.
I don't want the Democrats to screw that up. So we're going to win the midterms. We're going to do everything that we can to win the midterms. And then after that, I'm going to sit down with the President of the United States and talk to him about it.
2028. Vance versus Biden. Not the big guy, the little guy. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.